Hey everyone, and welcome back. It is going to be a nice long weekend and I have lots of tasks to do. But first, I had a shipment come in of a big impulse buy that I had purchased earlier in the week. And I know I'm not the only one that does this sometimes. So if you do impulse buys, let me know in the comments. But this one I thought was worthwhile. And hey, if you're new here, my name is Christy. I am located in Western Massachusetts, Zone 6A. And this past spring, I realized how important peony season is. Everyone absolutely loved the peonies. They always sold out. I always had more requests. So one early morning before the kids were up and I was just on my computer, I happened upon a small scale wholesale group that I have been a part of on Facebook, but I never really purchased from there. And lo and behold, they had peony roots, mystery peony roots, that is, up for grabs. And I hopped on it probably at like 5 a.m. and I was like, why not? Because I was just wrapping up peonies. I'm actually just hydrating my last few. And I was like, I am on it. I know they're mystery, but nonetheless, even with shipping, I thought it was a good deal. So I purchased 30 roots, 30 mystery roots. So it was definitely an impulse buy and I got them in and right now I really need to plant them out. I got them yesterday. So I have a bunch of random pots that I'm finding in my backyard and my greenhouse that thankfully people have been leaving at the roadside flower stand and donating so I can get some peonies in. So I have never done this before. I've only bought from the big box stores. So I decided to try and seek some help in a flower farmers group, and this lovely peony farmer named Wanda, who's been a peony farmer for 16 years, was so gracious and gave me a ton of useful information that I am going to follow every step of the way. So right now is going to be the middle of June and I plan on fall planting these. So she told me that peony roots do not store well like dahlia tubers. They will dry out. Luckily, these were all packed in some damp shavings, so I got to get them in. And she told me plant them in a pot with some soil. Make sure that the crown is 1 to 2 inches below that soil, and that I should leave them in an area where they will get morning sun and afternoon shade and just keep them really well watered. And I basically can plant them anytime out as long as the soil can be worked, which is great because my biggest concern is I want to have a third of the new area that I plan on using for flower farming in my backyard for peonies or perennials, anything that self-seeds, so I can have a really nice established area. And then they use the other 2/3 for like my dahlias, zinnias, anything that is a tender annual that just like loves summer heat. So I can focus the front of my backyard for my cool hardy annuals or anything that I can overwinter. So I don't have to worry about like dragging out the hose in all different places. So one thing is, once I get these trees knocked down in the middle of October, is we will shift everything up front right here from this moss pit is going to be for my cool flowers, and then all the warm loving annuals and perennials will be in the back half. So I really want to get these in. I want to just do some nice single rows, and then I do have some more peonies still in pots that I purchased, and then I might have placed an order of just 15 more bare roots coming in. These won't give me anything for 3 years, so I thought this is going to be just a really good investment, especially if I want to try one day do this more full-time. I can just let them sit. I still have my full-time teaching job, and then by the time they start to mature, maybe they'll be ready to go. So very excited. We are going to pot these up. So I graciously had someone drop off a bunch of hanging pots, which they're nice and wide, which is good. So I'm going to use those. Found some other pots, but I'm just not quite sure if they are wide enough. If not, I have a bunch of gallon buckets or 5-gallon buckets that I use for my vegetables in the corners of my garden beds that I will use instead. We are going to get whatever we can to get these peonies out because I have a whole entire box full, 19 pounds worth to be exact. So they're all in all different sizes, but they are like super duper long, which is going to be my worry if I can get these in pots or not. We shall see. But yeah, they are just all tangled in here. So we got to get these into the ground. They have really good eyes. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 of them at least, so I'm super excited. Again, these are mysteries. Here's my box. So we need to get planting. So first things first, I'm going to get my wheelbarrow. I'm going to fill it with some topsoil. And just because it's kind of really heavy with the compost and the topsoil, I'm going to mix in just a little bit of perlite in there just to help with some drainage, because it can get really compact once it gets wet and damp. And we're supposed to be getting some thunderstorms rolling in tonight. So it's supposed to be raining right now and it's not. So I figure this is perfect timing. We are going to see what we can get done and what I can plant, and if I can find some pots that are wide enough. So first, let's mix everything up. I'm just gonna do that off camera and then I'll show you what I have, and let's see how we are going to get these like a Tetris puzzle and assembled into some pots. So let's get to it. So here are my peony roots. This is one that I was showing. There should be 30 of them. I haven't pulled them all out yet, but as you can see, they're eyeing up, and they weren't able to plant these out. So they did a mystery order, and I figured, you know what, why not hop on it? Like, some of them are nice and small. So I'm able to put these in some much smaller pots. And we're just going to slowly dig these out and plant them up before it starts to rain. So I have all of my peony roots laid out, and to my surprise, there's 34 of them. So happy day for me. So we are going to try and fit all of these into these. And if not, I have all of those that I can use as well. So we are going to make this work. Okay, so we are going to be playing Tetris. I have, like I said, a bunch of these hanging basket pots. Some I already took the hanging part off, but it was just starting to get too annoying. So the rest I'm just going to leave on. They'll be fine. So all I know is my instructions are, make sure that you only bury them 1 to 2 inches. We're just going to aim for an inch. So I already have some pre-moistened potting soil. I actually really lucked out. And I had this from doing sunflowers. So I totally forgot about. Lucky me. So I'm going to put a little bit of soil, and the issue is some of them are just so big. So I am just going to save those for the bigger pots I have out back. I'll just have to empty them out. No worries. But we're just going to try and figure out where these can go. So I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to place them in the pots, and then that way I'm not playing a guessing game, and then we can just fill them in, come back here with the dirt, and then get things to it. Worst case, I'm thinking maybe kind of like a dahlia tuber. I'm just going to look it up quick, is maybe I can just cut off some of these extra few inches or not, and we'll see how that happens. But I mean, this one has already like an insane amount of eyes, so that just makes me happy, and it's going to be so fun to see what ends up blooming. So I'm going to just try and figure out which pots, and then we'll fill them in a moment. Okay, so I have relocated to closer to my garage because the sky keeps opening up, and it was pitch black for a second, and little man is just like, I'm not having this rain. I'm still going to drive my new tractor. Anyways, I am just going to do what I can potting things up, and then if it starts to rain, I'm just going to go inside the garage, so no worries. So out of the 34 peony roots that I have, even though I purchased only 30, which I'm kind of excited about, maybe some might be iffy, I'm not sure, we're potting all of them up. I don't have enough pots for 4 of them, so I put them back in the wood shavings, and then I can always finish that up tomorrow if I have to. I have a 3-day weekend, which is going to be nice. So I'm hoping I can get everything done by dinner time because tomorrow we have little man's third birthday party with family. So I don't want this big mess of dirt and stuff out. So I have my pre-made potting soil and I'll give them a good water afterwards. And then I have the most perfect spot on the other side of my backyard where it gets morning sun and afternoon shade. And we're just gonna keep them well watered and see what happens. And what really is helping me right now is how wide these hanging baskets are. So I'm gonna do my best. They kind of fit just nicely in, and make sure that the eyes are going to be at least an inch under. So I just kind of plop them in and then we'll push them down a little bit more if I have to, or pull them up more if I have to. So hopefully we can get these going. And then I have, like I said, those other gallon pots or couple gallon pots that I will use. Instead of using them for my tomatoes and my vegetables, I'm just gonna dump them out, get all those weeds out, mix the soil in, the old soil with this newer soil just to refresh it and revamp it. And then we'll use those nice deeper pots for the ones that just really need that extra room. So let's get to it. The rain's been opening up a few times. I'm going to try and show you one before I run out of dirt and need to make some trips to get some more filled in here. So I have my peony root right here. As you can see, it's already sprouting. I want to make sure that these eyes are only 1 to 2 inches below the soil level. So I have been, if they're like this, trying to eye it and see how much soil I should put in, and then I put it back. Some of you have to add some around it. So each one's a little bit different. But this one, it's gonna lay flat a little bit more. And I want to get it before the soil settles. So we have said peony root. Here is some of the eyes. If I fill it to the top, they should be anywhere in that 1 to 2 inch. And again, this is my first time doing it. So hopefully these will be fine. And again, the reason why I am potting them up is because the area where I want to plant them is covered in pine trees right now, and it won't get taken down until after my growing season. So that's going to be about mid-October, unless I want to end it maybe a little bit earlier, or the company that's coming to do it says that early August is better for them. We'll just have to go with them. So I have it there. I have those little sprouts up. So that should be good. So that's all I have been doing this past few times. And I'm just going to keep on to it until I run out of soil. And then I will make some more. Okay, it has been a few hours. We're after dinner time. The sky just opened up. It got so dark and started pouring, but thankfully I think we're over with that. So I have about 13 left to do, still in pots, and then I need to go and find 4 more pots for those larger ones. So I'm gonna dump out some old soil, mix it in with some new soil, and then hopefully we should be good. Move everything over to the area where they will be held until October. And then we'll have another task done with us today. So hopefully I can get this done before the next round of storms come through. But tomorrow looks like a sunny day. So worst case scenario, I can just put everything back in the wood shavings and then we can wrap this up tomorrow. So I'm gonna hop back to it and see how much we can get done. All right, I'm gonna take you along for a few more. Here is my bare root. And here are the eyes. So they're going to be right there. So I need to make sure that these are probably no more than flush with this top right here, because this would be about 1 inch, and then 2 inches would probably be at the bottom of this stem. So luckily this one can lay pretty flat, This pot might be a little bit too big for it, but I am going to nonetheless put it in basically like so, because this is going to be flush with the lip. So I'm going to leave it like this, and we're just going to keep backfilling, and we're going to make sure we tamp it down good, try and fill any of those air pockets, and try and push down, because I don't want it to sink and then have, and I don't want the eyes to be any lower. So we're going to just try and make sure we really get that to settle. And I am just going to have this flush with that stem. All right, and that looks pretty darn good. We're going to keep on going. All right, and here's another one before we start speeding things up. This one has quite a few eyes. So I have some over here and some over there. So I need to make sure that it lays nice and flat like so. So there's lots of space in there. This bucket might be a little bit too big. Nonetheless, hopefully it will grow some good roots. And then we can plant them out and they'll be still nice and healthy. But pretty excited for all these eyes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's at least 7 eyes on this one. So I'm going to take this order as a win. So this one, and push it down a bit. And it's going to be a little bit trickier because I can't have this side go any lower. So I got to just make sure I really fill it in well. So if anyone notices if I'm doing anything incorrectly, please feel free to let me know, because then I can correct any mistakes before they're in here for a while. All right, and another one done. We'll speed things up a little bit. Here we have it. They are all in pots. Hallelujah. So I'm going to move them over to the other side of our backyard where it will be their home until October, and we plant them out. So thankfully we are just about done with this task because it's almost time for the kids to have dessert, and they are hanging in there really well on this humid day. Okay, so everything is in pots right now. I'm going to move them over next to my winter sow milk jugs. Right over here, it gets morning sun, afternoon shade, besides a few little spots that get some sun through the pine trees. This is going to be their home until mid-October or whenever I get the trees done. So let's move them over here, all 34 of them, and I'm super excited. We are finally done. Everything is moved over to their holding position. And as you can tell from my hair from beginning to end of this video, it is so humid out. It's disgusting, and the bugs are out, and it's raining a little bit in between. So I'm going to head inside. I hope you found this a little bit insightful. If you have ever received peony roots and were unable to plant them out in your desired location right away and had to pot them up, please let me know in the comments below. I feel like this is just like something that's really not common. So I really wanted to share my experience so that way when it comes October, we can plant them out together. And then I will show you when I do some more monthly garden tours so we can take a peek at them and see how they are doing. I'm very excited to get these planted out because between the 7 plants that I have purchased at a big box store and then the 34 peonies, and then I have 15 more that are supposed to be shipped sometime in September. We are going to have a really, really nice peony patch to harvest from in 3 years. So I'm super excited because right now I only have 3 peony bushes. I have one out front that I will dig up in the fall and transplant as well. I took that from my aunt's house about 2 years ago, and unfortunately it has not bloomed in those 2 years. And I really think I planted it probably too deep, and it's not getting the amount of sunshine that it needs. So if you would like to stay tuned and see everything that is going on here at my roadside flower stand or how I'm growing everything, pretty soon we'll be starting some more seeds, can you believe it or not? So we can plant those out in the fall so they can winter over. Like our biennials, like Sweet Williams will be happening, Blue Plurum, I'm going to get some of that started so we can have some beautiful blooms. Oh, and Feverfew as well. Next spring. So if you would like to stay updated on everything, please make sure you hit like and subscribe and hit that bell button, and I will see you all next time. Happy gardening.